My name's Keith and I'm a minimalist collector. I write a blog called iLikeHelping.com, Minimalism in a Nerdy World. And I write about the intersection between minimalism and collecting. I have been on a minimalism journey for about 6 months, a slow living journey for about 5 years, and a collecting journey for 4 decades. And strangely, it was starting a new collection that led me to minimalism. I was touring around a lot of yard sales in my neighborhood in the summer of 2016 and picking up odds and ends, not very much, some Lego here and there, books, comics, whatever I could find like that. And I came across a stack of 78 RPM records, about 100 of them, and I got them for a very, very small amount of money. I didn't know anything about them. I saw a couple of recognizable names in them, Elvis, Buddy Holly, Bing Crosby, and got them on a whim. And that also meant I needed to get a record player. When I started listening to this music, I realized I was listening to music that, of course, I had never heard before. But I was also listening to music that no one I know had ever heard before. And to play a record, in case you are not familiar, you need to do several steps. You take this hard copy thingy, you put it on a record player, you move the needle, it plays. These are actually only 3 or 4 minutes long. So you play one song on a 78, which is what these are, 78 RPMs, and then you have to flip it over. And that tactile slowness, doing this step by step, not forgetting that the music was playing, made me more aware of music than I feel I have been in a very long time. Even at concerts, even when I get a new album, listening to it on an iPod or an iPhone, you tend to multitask. You tend to wander around, do something else while you're listening to it, and allow it to be background. That's not what this is. This was foreground. And by playing these records, I started to be more aware of what I was doing with music that I love. Artists I've listened to for my whole life, and I started listening closer. I started picking up new records that I had listened to when I was a kid, and albums I have loved for my entire life, and I'm hearing them like I haven't heard them since I was a teenager, and it's quite magical. As I started thinking more intentionally like that, I started thinking about how I watch movies, how I watch TV, how I interact with people, and how filtered that gets when you have cell phones everywhere and you're distracted by this, you're distracted by that, you're just going to check something on the computer, and you're not giving yourself fully over to the experience. So this stack of records made me give myself over to the experience and really focus. So that act of being careful, being intentional, being thoughtful started leading to other thoughts about how I could change other behavior and make sure that I was being completely there when I was experiencing other things. This led to what we call intentional television, an idea that my wife and I have, that we don't turn the TV on unless we know what we're going to watch before it turns on. It led to no phones during dinner. It led to no phones during movies. I don't second screen at all, and I'm seeing so much more than I had seen for a long time when that IMDb app was too handy. So I am really careful about what records I buy. I have a very small collection, only about 50 or 60, primarily albums from when I was young, which are available very cheaply, and it does allow me to be more thoughtful. I really enjoy listening to records because it is such a more intentional way to play music. As well, you know, the sound is a bit nostalgic for me. So I want you to let me know in the comments what actions that you do that remind you to be more intentional. And I will see you next time.